Solutions engineers here with Matterport today. We are at GeoWeek in Denver. This conference is very important to us as we continue to dive deeper into the AEC industry, as well as oil and gas, utilities, etc. One reason that we're able to penetrate markets such as that is our newfound Pro3 camera. That's a LiDAR-equipped laser scanner. And another major platform feature that we're really pushing at this conference is our ability to produce BIM and CAD files from the digital twin. So we are, we still have our bread and butter proprietary digital twin platform, but we're trying to meet customers where they are by producing the various assets they use in their existing workflows.
And Kyle, are you talking about integrations with Matterport at GeoWeek?
It's not top of mind, although we do have pre-built integrations with Autodesk Construction Cloud. So for those BIM and CAD outputs, they can be seamlessly delivered into the Autodesk ecosystem and integrated into our customers' existing workflows.
And what are the kinds of questions that you're hearing from those attending GeoWeek?
I would say probably the number one question we get relates to accuracy. So a lot of our competitors will say, they can get 1 millimeter accuracy, which we don't claim to do. Although our biggest benefit is in the ability to share and access this data in a way that wasn't previously accessible to laser scanning customers. So we get you 80 to 90% of the way there to the highly dimensionally accurate point cloud that a lot of these customers are looking for. But we beat our competitors on efficiency. So you can scan 100,000 square feet in probably about an hour's worth of time, where a lot of the other higher end laser scanners, that could be a multiple week job. So that's typically where we fit into the equation. I also, the only other comment I'd make on accuracy is a lot of times when folks come up to us asking if we can get to 1 millimeter accuracy, they don't necessarily have a good reason as to why. It's sort of this industry standard, but there isn't necessarily always a rational reason behind it. Not to mention, some of our customers will tell us, if that is indeed your goal, you'll probably show up on site with a laser dystometer or a tape measure yourself. So we feel as if we can produce a very competitive output from an engineering perspective, while at the same time producing a digital twin that's highly accessible to the masses without any specialized hardware or software.
At a conference like GeoWeek, can you speak to the use cases that are coming up where Matterport is a better solution than perhaps some of the other higher end millimeter accuracy scanners that you're discussing?
Sure. Yeah, so we cover a wide variety of industry verticals, and within those verticals, I would say our top use cases are facilities management. So previously, a lot of folks in FM would rely on 2D imagery or dashboards to manage these spaces. We give them a photorealistic rendering of that environment so they can understand how it's laid out, where all their assets are located within that space. They no longer need to go hunting down information in their ERP or in their ERP system or in their asset management database, whatever they're using. They can use the photorealistic experience to walk through the space, locate that piece of equipment, understand what maintenance it may or may not need, and resolve that ticket faster than they could before. So facilities management is probably one of our top use cases. Otherwise, we're now getting into the IoT space. So previously, if you had IoT sensors in your facility, the data streams would end up in a 2D dashboard, and the only information that would be provided is an asset tag. So you can see asset number XYZ ABC is operating out of the standard operating threshold. As in, there might be an error occurring, could use some maintenance potentially. You may have to diagnose the issue. What we're getting into in the IoT space is the ability to visualize those same data streams on the digital twin itself. So rather than saying asset XYZ ABC, you can say, okay, I see. I can walk to I can virtually walk to this piece of equipment. I can see it's in the northwest corner of this particular portion of the facility. Understand the equipment I may need. I see it's 8 feet above the ground, so I'll bring my ladder. I'll bring the appropriate toolkit, and then I'll go resolve the issue. So we're seeing that gaining a lot of traction now as well.
So Kyle, you've mentioned facilities management as a use case. You've mentioned anything that has to do with IoT, which could be a subset of facilities management. Is there a third use case that you're running into here at Geo Week?
Yeah, certainly. I would say, especially for Geo Week, design and construction is probably one of the most top of mind use cases for customers that are attending this conference. So we have a lot of customers that will take a scan prior to a renovation or a construction project. Either use our services or create the as-built documentation with our point clouds, and then subsequently take periodic scans during the construction process to monitor progress, as well as hold some of their subcontractors accountable. Because in a lot of instances, a subcontractor will say, oh, we've already completed X, and either they may be lying or exaggerating, but with periodic scans, you know the exact state your project is currently in, so you can keep your projects on time and on budget, using that digital twin as the living, breathing documentation over the course of the project. And then, of course, when it's completed, one more round of scanning in order to update those as-builts and keep those documents handy for future engagements.
So is construction documentation, what I think of as weekly or monthly construction documentation, a subset of design build?
Yes, I would say so. Mm-hmm.
And of the three use cases that you described, the Matterport Pro3 Camera, the first thing you described was speed of capture. Was there, is that the only reason, or is that the best reason, versus perhaps the other scanners? I think I'll ask my question differently, because it sounds like in those three use cases, the Matterport Pro 3 is good enough in terms of the accuracy.
Right.
And therefore, it doesn't matter that the other scanners here that might be 40,000, 80,000 or more can be more accurate. So is that the sweet spot for Matterport with the Pro 3? Is anything that really doesn't require the level of accuracy but requires the speed of capture for those three verticals that you described? Right.
I would say that's accurate. We win on efficiency. Also, our platform is highly accessible and easy to use. We also consider our capture process to be walk-up easy. So you don't need any specialized training at all. Basically, you procure the camera, you connect it to an app on your phone, and then within 10 to 15 minutes, you're off to the races. So unlike the higher-end laser scanners that require specialized skill sets in order to operate them, any average Joe can pick up and become an expert Matterport scanner, I would say, in 15 minutes or less. So ease of use and then efficiency, I would say, is where we win on the hardware side. And then on the platform, it's similar. That's definitely the swimming lane that we want to be in. We want to be the digital twin for the masses. We want to democratize access to the 3D data that was previously only accessible to engineers with specialized hardware and software. So that's typically how we position Matterport. We're not, trying to go head to head with any of the other vendors at this particular conference, because we see ourselves in a class of our own.
And just last question, could you expand more on the Matterport platform in the context of facilities management, design and build, and
IoT was the last one.
IoT,
yeah.
Thank you.
So our platform is highly extensible. We do have a SDK and API available to add custom components to a digital twin or retrofit the digital twin to fit within an existing workflow. So we have plenty of capabilities that will allow our customers to, it's not a one-size-fits-all. A lot of our implementations are quite bespoke in nature, but the platform just works. You sign up for an account, you scan a model, it shows up in there, and then you're ready to take accurate measurements, document the facility with operating manuals or any other relevant documentation to manage your assets. And it can also be used for collaboration purposes. So with our notes feature, you can tag other users and call out certain things. So, hey, Mr. Plumber, hey, Mr. Electrician, there's an issue here. There's a crack in this pipe. This light bulb is out. Those are really basic, simple examples. But rather than send an email or any other message and say, okay, go to this particular coordinate in the space and fix an issue, you can provide them, again, the link to the Matterport model so they know exactly where the issue is taking place. They understand the equipment that they would need to show up with in order to get it done. So I'd say from a platform perspective, it's the ability to measure with accuracy, document the facility using our Matter Tag feature, as well as collaborate in real time with the background of the photorealistic digital twin as opposed to a standard messaging tool.
Kyle, thank you very much.